Enti se si ya ke na me kan se me kra me sika fiato na bia wo hu fa ba to ba bi na me ba oh me ba ya ma papa osum me sika bi fito ha hu enti wo hu ba bia da ba kire me eno na kire say go back and revise your notes na hu kwan ya be fa so a wo ba yi odwuma yi enti me de me pesa me kire wo mo an say and the students of law say witness is different and you know a case person or a suspect is really different won't mean to treat witness as a suspect even suspect no cry all right as so man respect and dignity oh hu de be chenti ono okọ back no training in crofo no so training o mi say sana benya evidence no so you odwuma yi me a wo pese me prove case ma we ya hear me can we be in crown in other areas no we treat witnesses no be cry by any work on the 5-star hotel be so because we are important for the prosecution now do buy we run adeba and bu be the children say marafo yemfa case by chromo motia chromo nya woni yi magic because motia no mo na yi magic no so now we be me a senior lawyer me timba bi wo free officer wo ba misumi ni mu amoba enya na law no susu ye no mpanimu wo kwala wo afa no ba wo mehuna wo unu apaniu ameka chen se office na wo no abaye no me was right not even to hear in your compulsory and speaking in your compulsory even looking in your compulsory and say what they will ahoma so no ba me officer I have a right to exercise my right of keeping quiet.
Me GD, my faith is against LGBTQ. Me Assemblies of God. We say the faith I have, empany say Bema, Bewari Bema, Oba, Bewari Oba. Bill a war parliament, Omunyam passing, but say Abayan actually says Omo passing president on sign. If we say the Attorney General can say Bibi a private members motion. Obeti me pass a bill with a private members motion, but enise edekabia ebeto abayan so.
For you rain. Adishia nyumre ya majum makwaba demba dom 106.3 FMC. And that's why ni opepombo sumino ene womu no ene edaye twatwo. Wosumi edikanya fimpinu ene eduonu nan. Ene yedaye twatwo. Eti si akatwo se 31st mu ene ewo. Ronya bosome ni yesimu na sa manfo kache no. Edu se yesi bosome fufuro mu afefufuro. Na manfo osumbu yebedu yedu. January bosome no ene de abawie. Eti nyame ya domo a ochina bosome fufuro munu dwan ene yesimu ye ogefo bosome na anwumrei abusua se wafidie da ha se ya bani ni sujumade ne bra
Nhyira FM the opposite with no click so it fancy opposite with Adom FM o click so pe the obeti ani
Adom FM 106.3 top.
Sisi ekwanfo for betimi afa so eti Adom FM e internet so no eni sisi a App Store e na makoyi
en wo mo so a wo mo de force so e na eba wo mo de force full force oba wo mo so e wo ho eti abusua nwumre yesi adwa no baby a yede ye ni hwe omo ankrankre woni ayi wotie medie meko enya manyokuo bia mu ena mi kodi animu na emo me kose me asomasi anase obenten ne ento aba no mame no abusua wo mu baako ena yene no esi adwa minim se wo mu a enkosi ebra electoral commission be bie nwoma mu ato no ye beti bebre na bi ahyase enten mo buru nsuo yesu free nsuo entem so buru nsuo a en wani ye kokko enti abusua enanwumre yi yensa kapani baako ewo fiase ya ono na ni suade hunu ne se Ghana yakachi Ghana baby aye kro no ewo se ye koni yie ena empire so aye gbo ani se ye benya nipa wo bedi oman nanimu na obema oman na tumi agina ne na so eti abusua enwumre yesi adwa no ye ne Dr. Ankra ena esi adwa ewo dwumadie eso meka Dr. Ankra yi no woni enim no se wonim no so a enwumre yi ene ne ho asem nyina wo bem wo hu ne du sa wo koto aba no a wa nkwohwe NDC ankwohwe MPP ankwohwe amanyokuo dada no se obi kasem na to wasumu a wo decision a wo take no should be based on nipa na sem a wo ka no na wo to aba ma no eti abusua yi enwumre yi Dr. Samankra independent presidential candidate afimpi no ne aduoni na ya battery mu ene dok na esi adwa na nsa ne ene dok e be hyase no yisi mpanimfo ne yede ade sede etom animu se enhyehyɛ ya mo ya fa abato no ho no eye political parties nipa ye kwoto aba wo mayi mu na mo ye nhyehyɛ ne de ama yen eti decisions ni bi wo ho no mo a mode bankrata eba o na bre beto aba no na yenya ye besesa no na political parties nyina sigina ye eniema na mo ye ni nyina no mo ya amanyoku ahodo no a mo se mo ne o mafa adwen no mo wie ya na o ma bache se da bi ntene sa eniema ye hia for 2024 elections no ye kasem bi se ye woni ye hia ene ye woni ye fata na ye ni ye hia ansa ne ye ne fata eti sane inki ye free ho na bread beto aba eniema ebeboa ma 2024 abato no akoso eniema be ya asomwem ne ye beto aba na wie na obi mmegina bonten emeka say electoral commission we ya omuye ye nti na mawie no isi mbanimfo monhwe na monye no mo obi nya reason bi emegina so nka say enka isi fo ye say ya enka we ya ama maka mesa ka bio se sa inki nu ayede ka yensa no Ghana ni bia ni hono mo a wa complain se inki manensa ye fiu Ghana ni bia ni hono mo ye frimre santen ye koto waba na yede inki ka yensa no obi ya ni hono mo a wa complain se inki ni yede ka mensa me mo wirewu inki ni yede ka mensa me sika che ana electoral commission so ma ye budget de akọ parliament am ya approve mo budget amamo ye no na mo de be ye adwuma eti sa mo budget no na sika nso enu nti na wasa mo tetetete niema so a mo maye hu because munim niemo be ye enu ho budget na mo kwa ni approve ma mo eti niema mo be ye a obi benya nyina so aka se electoral commission for na ye sei enu nti na mewe ye electoral commission for ne munyai sa niema ni bi wonu mahu hia decisions ni bi wo hono mo a mo miento 2024 abato ni mie na sa mo be sakira ye wo 2025 for ho 2026 for ho sa niema ni nyina ye betumi aso ahwe wo abato nkakra ebeyemu kosisa ye beto aba 2028 monto mobo na niema ehia sa brei e wo abato nu mu e wo sa ye no momianya no because afidie ya mo ka se wo do gbawire ebekwa akosi afidie no so na wunya donsa kosi so baako a wukobie wa machine no wuntumi nsa ankoto bio machine na to de feli machine no Ghana hanko an yesi ye biometric esu timi ko na kodu ba bi yesi network ateko ene machine nya dwuma ewo ho enti monto mubu o tom monto mubu ni ento aba no wi asomwie mu na mon hyehyɛ ye no amokɔ a ni adi proposal we ya to ye sesa we ye sesa we montwa so na musiasa muni amanyokuo ni nyina ene ye koye ena amanyokuo be 6 ena wonu muti ase ewiase so mo se ye ne mo amfa adwen bi yesere mo pa eniema bebre wo ho ehu ye wo se mo ye munye no na ne na nse mu de ba ne ye change date na inki ne emwa wo bia muntwa so ne enkoye nim abusuan batro no ho adwuma na ye no maka che o se nwumre ye ne independent candidate Dr. Samankra ena esi adwa ne ye ka Dr. Samankra ya tempanimfo ni bidin Ghana ne ye waba kosem anipa baako independent candidate baako wa kwa da bia so okojoy afi maintain nkan me wofa no eti ene ebi yi omuti 2024 maka che o se doson independent candidates no ye benya bebre akwa kofi mu nyina yi omuti badendenden eti ne doctor ewofie ha midin ede akua boachiwe Adom wo frame ABY amejo so yada Franco Trading Enterprise ase omo na ame ehu se air conditioners no se ye wo air conditioner ne wo air conditioner ebi wo hono mo ebo hono mo a awia no bo a woni awia no na ekoro awia no bo a no so ayira awia bank wo se air conditioner no ma wo dam ye nwunu no no woni awia na kan bom no wo ma heat na we di abusua ebi bo dem a wutim sa de papa ene bo dem emframa eboboko wa na regulate sane ope no ene wunya no ene ye wo Franco TV ena computer so de ebuso ye ka phones so de a mobile phones Ghana ha papa Franco ni ode banyina papa wo hwehwe wachi akwanya ene ye udu adabraka danya ne Roxy Cinema bus stop no di animhwe no ho no mo ana Franco Trading Enterprise wo ena DBS adawroma na no na mihu sa wadwuma no ne oka bia ye no kore obi frem yese dabi mihiamwa DBS in 10 free estimate no wajai no the amount waton chance no anka wo se wo kotua carpenter ni sika se ye mmosoma me no DBS magic no amene umpe wedi na wo pe kala wo pe na wuchuso kala no so ye ma 20 years fading warranty se chance no de bowo dan no so afebo kala no na ukita wadim ena kasaprekon landing dry gin abusunya ye ka gina Ghana wote gina kasaprekon landing dry gin wote gina edi eto aso aye kasaprekon landing dry gin ko ba bi eton se bi anu ne bi a kasaprekon landing dry gin woni 18 years a wonka ho ba pemfo wo so twon ho efiri ho me producers ase lawyer listo wo kwadwofojo kwamkule nuta ye chie Aisha Akua Ibrahim Sada so ena Frank Milovan ena Jamrechum Akowua ya dem live wo Facebook na YouTube nti wadwenche no oba Facebook na Adom 106.3 FM wa fa bi to ho like na share YouTube so sa Edward Tete ena dematum live wo Facebook doc mo official pa mo akwaba
afi komati yen
boko de
nyame ado bibia boko
sani o si agigia dem no na se ne wa relax ya minim sense mo ade ba doso se bibia boko
afi se na afa
afi se na afa na se ne ya to aba no awie ya diburo nya awie ya si afi foforo num no ahya ase appoint ministers anana ye den na handing over no ya ye bibia awie
ye force na ye di ba beje o
ba mi microphone no kakrama me fa force na ba microphone
ye force na ye di beje o minus wo no ye friend alternative force for action afa
also de no
alternative force for action inti afa se na afa
so slogan ne de afa
afise se na afa na bibia ye boko na Ghana for ehu se e free samre ne ko ne de na omho to mo ba se enentina ye ni abre a enyumre se ke ye wo fia ke ye da so ye da betina ha se ya ye pese Ghana for ti se sani o minus iko no se ya me ni ambre ni agency wa mini aba be bedroom re bi ni kro sani ye amanyo sem osha the last 30 years MPP NDC so si ampa se same pound on my ya it must sound nipa brabo politics ye ke hu ye and I say governance ye enka ebi be fa no mo di asesa nipa brabo mo wo form ni apeja mo di o mabasro o masitire mo asesa na o mahu se ampa ato mo to e ma aban ekro mo team no aban na dwuno mo ho nti aban na hwe mo so enso so ye kro mo nya sa na ye hu no the last 30 years I one mediocre government to the other and Yes, so. Just after the elections, you did this, na MPP 4, na NDC 4, na government in yet, and a government say, and no my say. And so elections go through near start clicking back to the same identity. Am I sitting my ding? Ain't yes, see something different, see a person who toy Ghana for, see a person sitting your papa there, and ye ain't to me near the na sir. It's about time we look at the situation critically, analyze it, and make a decision. And anything that people like us say, who see or say, yeah, they want to affordable tables to say, you better come a Ghana for. And see anything a mini aba and then you ray, or be share what I say. And see,
send me a walk problems in the sono. Na say unim ye how. Ya beba honum na ansakura na ye betro aso omu a ebeti ate Dr. Samankra ebia obi nimo but se enwumre wo ka se enu nti na ye mu bi de ye ho agba afori a mumu bi no se ye yiwo se Dr. Samankra o ne hwan
Dr. Samankra de me ye Ghana
Pacho be microphone man
me ye Ghana ni mapa me ye humble man. I worked as an investment banker, development economist, raising capital for countries and corporations, and also advising governments on policies, economic policies, and how I see our boy in Yanuma. Nyamia form to have a social upliftment. MT, you're born a tougher in a nutshell, some anchor or no.
Nese wo de ye ka omu a enim sikasem toto ya o de ne ye ho.
Nyamia da roba am say which me akasa.
Onim de no ho pa ne wo.
Anokre which me akasa.
Because da ebribi atwamu afie atwamu me kai amanyukuo no baako eduru se wo mo pekanifuo bi se ba bi o man na duru no ye hia obi anim de webuo nim de wo sikasem ho na obi so aka acho se da bi nye sikasem ho nim de nko na ye di ebu man eti wo anwumre wa me hu na wo Ghana ha ya na wa na so ote abruchire
Ghana ha ya na me wo for the last 14 years in I'm say ha ya na me wo
ha ya na
tie ha ya na me tie me tu kwa kra me ko few months in my samba nti de ekomu nyina I am part of it. I'm feeling this obi I feeling nti Ghana ha ya na me tie wada Roma
if you say free say bra wo kan nyina ye nte won kan besi ne nti uba na akọ he na akọ
my office was Geneva and I'm also London and me be other parts of African countries, but Mitiapa I spend a lot of time here. I just say debia me wa hase na me free for ba na be say be ba be pre edi o my so na say ba be boa me nuanum Ghana for the last 8 years. So what attract me I've been going to all tertiary institutions
talks
preaching about leadership and entrepreneurship. I've been listening to Ghanaians in the streets, understanding what are the challenges we are facing and how we can find solutions. I've been writing a lot of articles, criticizing government, recommending alternative policies. And yes, I'm free na be PM. My obia amanyo sema yekosi. I've been part of it for a while.
If say okay, baby our offices wo no. Na say we investment banking no awo ye ne Ghana nko. We ye wo other countries. My
last job cry na me assess I've maritime full time from them just to concentrate and help. Say be buana ya build your chrono na. I was in charge of emerging markets, which covers the entire globe. Maybe Adom, I've traveled wide. I've seen how countries are being run. Se me kasana me kasebia country we say I had no more and no more far quite we see bedru ha say I know exactly what I'm saying.
Na oba Ghana send ya wo kan fie be nwotwe ya wo nam
bro fie watwe 14 years.
O sha ase with o talks ne leadership year o man programs ahoro a wo ye no. Oba ye imigiri se wakonkronkura ahodo so wakọ constituencies ahoro se wo ena o ka se obegina wo ba bia wonchi wo henfa.
Oh, my constituency there, and yet Bako Sebia, Kumasi and Cry, and I say Cape Coast. the youth of this country is who are my constituency, especially the students. I'm gonna be my constituency because they've heard me.
Free here, Ankasa.
Me mama free Asante Bremo. Such a duma say, Papa so free. Friend is in crime. I am a Ghanaian, full Ghanaian, who covers.
Nientia me bisa osano. Oba ye. Enye se bia we e wadwe so be wura na hye badwam ana se o we bia ma me hya se mfiri ba bi straight me pese me di mampani die nchi na ho na pese o hya se firi ana na hye badwa de no si omu se sika dodo.
Oh nye se bia first of all decision to say me de me nye se bia wanted to be part of politics, but wo hye senia amanyo semni si ko how a country like ours Nyame Shrai be brave with so much, and yet we have very little. O Shesenia Ghana fosi bre e o kroma say na a country has so much. Just say homete. Say me kan kai no. I have traveled wide. I have seen how countries who don't even have a fraction, only a fraction of what we have. And so they are first-class countries with wonderful economies. What are the differences? What as they say, bia omokala na say dientina sadness is. These are the things I'm a dream one. Then I researched it into it. Inti yen Ghana for yentimi endru sakroseana. What are the challenges? Inti minoka and I started writing policies. I started writing articles, talking to government, making alternative policies. But we are in fact. One advice is Sam, looking at how transformative your ideas are, and the kind of things you are proposing, the current structures cannot sustain it, or they will not be able to do it, because a politics a short-term thinking, only 4 years plan. It doesn't go beyond that. Moreover, before say politician, ebabe power. The amount of money they will spend. I mean, so last year, Saturday, the amount of money people were sharing just to be parliamentary candidates and go ahead and contest. What is the intent? Why will people be killing themselves even to be parliamentary candidates? It's become like a money-making machine. Until when they get the opportunity, first year in government, a crime person be fast wa ye ka ya boni betete. Oba the time we ye no any a mimpe bi na me reach me hone me busuafo e na me nafofo. Then 2-3 years ago, then the third year and fourth year, and you're finding how much money we can make to win the next elections. It becomes a cycle of repeated activities. She said that Ghanaian, you are not part of the equation. Ghanaian, you policies are a bit turning around the destinies of this country. So first you come to Mbotoma, they will not look at it because this is not what they are doing. They are a cow almost pesika they are any sika when the next elections. It becomes a cycle of mediocre after the other. Into as a country. How long would this continue? Systems are not years ago used to work. So they are very dysfunctional. They are not working. The world around us is developing and moving on. How long do we want to sit down and say, yeah, the crime way it doesn't make sense to me. Until me dream when I'm saying, look, if say yes, see Ghana for you should share something different. You per se a man yourself exercise a brabo mudia. Any it's about time we reboot the country. It's about time we rebuild our system. By rebuilding the system, it can't come from the existing status quo. It has to be a new drive. And this is what we bring on the table. Say Ghana for Muntiye. Look at the alternative policies we are offering. These are the things that will change the destiny of this country and leave systems and structures that will stand the time for now and the generations behind us. Say any Ghana.
Who ne say me masemo mi bisa yin senka wo de fam ra hye bedwam say mame ni kan wura parliament a kanu no enuru ntem because any wo kan wo the proposals ahoro bi aba mpanimfo edi o maye ni mu di bibi adesedie bi se nke emfa ne sei o mansom ti hu ne se me beye mampani di a tumi a o man ni mrakuni ne de mame ne so metumi amasa changes na ba na ntina ana peso of ano.
And the problem is leadership. Greg Mills, Etro book B, I don't know so I can say why Africa is poor. Or say Africa is poor. Yes, say bia aid arofudi brain intina maya poor. And yes, say bia slavery and I say colonization you go through intina maya poor. Africa is poor because our leaders are making the wrong choices. Into the problem falls back at leadership. Everywhere in the world where countries have turned around, transformative leaders took over these countries, put in systems and structures, programs and policies that turned their countries around. We are not having that kind of leadership in our country. It's because of the structure of our politics. In TSC, CPC is a semudia, CPC politics, boy, and yes, we don't mean what we are saying. But say what team Kasa is here, we free Ghana. Was chef for the last at least 30 years, you are not getting what policy should give you. You even want to say, yeah, 2 months or a month to elections, I brought t-shirt, if this is not voting. If that is what you are looking for, then don't talk. Keep voting for them. But so who say country bit says Singapore, which wasn't even a country, another point, with no natural resources, a size of less than 5 million people. A little country like that has a GDP of about 470 billion. Now Ghana, a population of about 31 million, a vast land with all the natural resources. We are still running around 79 billion. There's a problem. Malaysia folk came to Ghana. Ombefa abe, eko mukrum. The Abenisesiano, a 45 billion economy. Yet ya say the idea abe ya abenkwine. What is happening to us as people? Let's come together collectively, bring our intelligent people on the table, think and create systems and structures, economic models that will speak to the Ghanaian experience to move us from where we are. And yes, Adia, we are fighting a losing battle.
Enti o hwehwe ma waye no se na ye bisa se o man no ye problem pa ye den a what can leadership obi so de asi o da bi eye constitution no se ne ye si ehye ye mrakuni no tumi a ye de amama mpani obi ya ni se tumi ni bi ene appointments ahoro a wo ye no ha ye obi so de asi o da bi structures no ye ade no eye fapema ya to no enem wa yen wo from ne wunim no eye leadership nkwa na ye problem obi so si o Ghana nipa no ankasa yesu o de leadership na ye problem o
the okay a cocktail of all these things you have said, but it starts from the leader. So you better review constitution to limit the powers of the leader. Now the leader has to give the room for it. They has to call for a referendum for people to vote for us to review the constitution. And the bottom line or the backs fall on leadership. So leader be boa say yenkoye constitutional amendment has to come from him. And bibiana ye kani no. What I'm saying is that if we have the right leaders that would help us to set up the systems, including constitutional review, economic policies, government agencies, efficient government system, continuous fight against corruption, the rule of law, stability, all these things has to stem from the leadership. Without the leader who allows or who wants this transformative growth for our nation, we can't do anything. Until I'm saying, say, Ahodina and I say, a choir be forced to San Yomano, and show Beyonce, a Cheyenne Ghana for them. Our vote is what is going to bring us this change. There's no miracle coming from anywhere. So what you say, Bia, Ubaya Diana, one day na, a sure Bia now will be free heaven, a Baba San Yomane dia. You are just wasting your time. Let's be real. If we don't start by bringing the right leadership to run this nation, setting up the right systems and structures, we will still carry on having the same old issues one after the other. I have a conversation. And he may permanently macho. So for once, na yɛnsesa sɛnea yɛsi choose your leaders. Na yɛnhwɛ sɛ at least just try and see. So unko hundi watch how can you talk about it? Oh, and yeah, you are used to born into no. Let's have the bravery. Let's take the courage. And this time round, go to the pools and turn things around and see how this country is going to move on from there.
Deɛ nti na agye di sɛ wɔse ɛsesa yɛabato ɛfiri sɛ nsɛm a wokan waka biribi sɛ o ma yɛansesa a yɛbɛba abɛtena ha ne yɛka ne ɛnɛ yɛka yɛ a ne yɛwokan ɛfiri berɛ a metena afidie yɛakyi ɛwɔ bɛni ne hyɛdwumadie so mpanimfoɔ a mede waba ha yɛ ɔmaka wasɛm yi a wokan bi bebree o yɛba a yɛbɛsesa nneɛma ɔmo se yɛde 1D 1F bɛsesa nneɛma ebi si o meme ba 24-hour economy yɛbɛyɛ adwuma saa yɛ nna the whole day ni eguso ni eyeju obiya ba e won nsɛm a wɔde ba ensɛm iso nipa de ombeka wie na Ghana fo gina so to aba kokromoti no a kyerɛ ni ehu an sɛ 1D 1F ene sɛ ye bisa sɛ die nneɛma na ɛwɔ mu anu nti yɛse nneɛma we ni ekrafra broche na eba because of 1D 1F ene yɛ nkra saa die ni bi ma minim ni ebetumi de yɛn sa pinpoint so nti wo de ende na yɛ soronko ɛwɔ ho.
But I'm saying very important question, and I will be saying, and different folds. Number one is the motives that people take into politics. Nipa krone by politics, e bi kwa ma musem to make money for themselves. E bi so jai sikamu e be share politics to fight for fellow human beings. I think say is the latter is what I'm doing. So we should maybe I'm free ba what I have left to come and fight, come and sit here at this time of the night, talking to you, moving from radio station to radio station, TV station to TV station. Ese won say ni parmeni abre. And yes bia and ka de medin kwa ho dia nyame ahran ka can sit at home and retire even at this age. But that is not what I want. It's a passion for people and making sure say my fellow citizens have the best living conditions. And we cannot be stereotypes. Number two, anybody who comes and sits here and says, the current systems and structures are woman. No ekotia sika 20,000 cedis per delegate to win a parliamentary seats or whatever it is. Pay 100,000 cedis per head per delegate to be shortlisted as presidential candidates. And all these things going on. Now say, onya if it's a 2 million or besi krona odin trachero. Because already they are in a mess. Look at what is going on. And see, we just have to be discerning as people. Sir, and some of them can you say what they are saying, what is behind it? Because they are share on the surface of they are. Like I catch go for every day. Me say in politics, anybody can talk his way up. But it's different in business. Saudi but China say 31st. Now say what employees to pay them. Now say wo share say yeah and kasabim. It's real work and action. And this is what Ghanaians have to start looking at. What are these people saying? What have they done? And why would they think they are going to say what they want to do? It says, yeah, interest groups are funding your campaign. What tells you say when you become president that they'll leave you to do what you are doing? And these are critical questions you, the journalists, have to investigate and educate our people. Because we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Our people are tired. We've had enough. Let's bring the right people with the right background, the right frame of mind to appoint the right people to run this country. It's no more about political symbols and colors. It's Ghana first. Let's have Ghana as a pool of talent and resources. People on merit to run this nation. And there will be a politics because they've seen, say, young men who haven't done anything in their lives just shout on political platforms, get political appointments, building mansions across the nation. What is the motivation? Until we need to be serious. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's start saying the right things. Young fans say a stereotype will be matida. No, we are not the same people. We are coming from different angles. And these are the discerning things that we have to discern as journalists, as individuals, to see, say, who are the right people that we have to appoint to run this nation. If we don't get that right, we cannot get building our economy right.
In getting the right people, no, oba ye wa me hu baby shasi free adwuma a woyɛ enu nti na meka sɛ wode enne kyɛ sɛ ka sikasɛm a wonimu ye bɛka ne sei enu nti ne yɛde opportunity ne ma mo sɛ wo pɛ sɛ wo kɔ sɛ kontenkran ankorankore ɛwɔ abato a ye betumu bɛ wɔ sɛ nipa te wo obotaye bɛn ne si wani so because I can say Ghana was see nya nipa omunim de ekɔ animu na ɔma bedi ɔman n'anim aka ne say ya abroad
absolutely
enti sɛ yɛsi yi ne maako ne abisa sɛ ɔman a yɛtimwe enne bosia ɛne yɛbɔ ne yɛde bu ɔman no eti wonim de ɛwɔ sikasɛm ho asabere yɛte hɔ no mo twɛn IMF sika ɔfa ɛtɔ so mienu ɔmo de bɛbrɛ yɛ ne yɛde abu ɔman se wo se media me investment banker minim de wo sikase mu kwa animu a kwan be na wo gidi se yebetumi afa so na ajapade a ye wo a wo waka abene nwo sa abekwan nko ne yedie kwan be na yebetumi afa so ne yeyusu odoma nkoma ajapade na ode amaye no ne yedi age oman na si hɔ a yemfa bosia mu oman no
me I'm say you are asking some of the very intelligent questions asema aka no eno ano no. What are the policies? How can we turn this economy around? A population of 31 million. Our GDP of 79 billion, as I said. We have more than 1 million government people on payroll. UK, their GDP is in the trillions. Population of 65 million. They only have about 350,000 people on their payroll. A friend is saying, Holland, they only have 19 ministers, GDP of over 600 billion. Norway, only 17 ministers, GDP of over, 570 billion. Our system is not sustainable. Our government size is bloated. We are spending money we don't have. We are borrowing money to pay recurrent expenditures, salaries. We have a refinery and other white elephant government corporations which are not producing anything. We go to the capital markets, near Kobo Bosia, near the Sikanaba, near the Betia salaries. What's it be that? This is not sustainable. What if there's a basic home economics? You cannot spend what you don't have. So why are we spending money we don't have as a nation? That is a key thing that needs to be tackled. The savings there alone is unbelievable. We share senior department bia land cruisers, department bia cars near Yom Tsorina. If we cut those wastes alone, that is a lot of money that can go to healthcare, education, agriculture, create employment. So these are critical areas. Number two, Yeti Kroma se Ghana, since Gordonsburg time up to now, you could chat timber, ewo murem, near the Afakwa, you're spending millions to you're investing millions also, you're saying near the court tema and I said takrade to export at the raw state. Then we import it back sometimes 4,000% the cost. You too good near the court. Cocoa has an economy of over 400 billion. Between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, we produce about 80% of the world cocoa. And so we are only having 5 million out of the 400 billion. You think that is okay? Why are we not changing? We are importing everything, including toothpick, tomatoes, onions. We are importing animal intestines. What country are we building? Recently, they brought a policy saying Yambua poultry farmers by taking their eggs for the students on free education feeding. For whatever reason, Obi imported sausage from China. That has been cancelled. The farmers are suffering. What economy are we building? We have to put a stop immediately on exporting raw materials. Yes, first stop immediately on raw materials. Now you process it, at least semi-processed, before we export it. We have to cut importation on everything that we can produce locally. I understand there are trade issues, barriers, and so forth. But even within the EU, there are protectionism among countries. Why can't we do the same? Why do we expose ourselves? We don't have an economy. Actually, I see Ukraine war. Yes, so far. Actually, I see the dollar, friends, for America for increasing interest rates. And I see inflation because the dollar to CD is gone up. All these things can be kept. There has to be deliberate policies to address these issues. But these things are not cosmetic. And yes, be a diner achiano. Now the cement I want to you have to break it down and rebuild. The rebooting of Ghana. This is what I have been promoting. Anything I say many with this until we need to change our economic policies one after the other. We have to use the fiscal policies to change the behavioral pattern of our people. Second-hand goods near sustainable to force. We have no local textile industry. We are not helping local companies. A friend said next door to Ghana, Benin export as far back as their products to cotton to China. India, for Indians to produce clothes and bring it here. Why do you think, sir, if we create the conducive environment in Ghana, the Indians would want to build their factory here and get the supply here because it's closer to them? These are all deliberate economic policies that we have to put in place, which is not there. And see, most of these are the critical things that I'm looking at to make sure, say, we save the country by not exporting the raw materials, at least semi-produce it, and make sure, say, we encourage local products. Agriculture, look at Ghana, like I said earlier, vast land, so fertile. Uja anka about atu a form crab. Or China fifi, body fifi on coin chain. All this tells you how fertile the soil is. Organic food is so much in huge demand in Europe and elsewhere. And yet we can't even feed ourselves. We should be feeding ourselves and our neighbors and exporting to Europe. But we are not doing it because there's no mechanized farming. There's not, and the reason why that is so is because there are no conditions that are favorable. There are no deliberate policies that would encourage investors to invest into it. What are the conditions? Your land tenure system problems, land ownership problems, and then land obidia. These are things government has to put deliberate policies to resolve it. There's no funding. The government is fighting with local companies by borrowing from the local market into the projects Krakow Bank. You can't facility. The international markets who are not attracted to us because of these challenges. How do you resolve it as a country? You bring technology in because international markets, if there's no technology, they are not going to be come and invest. You bring technology in. Where the technology? Countries like India, even Ukraine, they are producing grains in entire Europe. How do they do it? These are deliberate policies, deliberate actions. But like I'm saying, it's not cosmetic work. You can't just wake up within 4 years, implement this and see results. It needs deliberate plans and structures set in place now that would yield fruits in the short to medium to long term. And this is not what we don't have as a country because our planning has become short term. It'll be about 4 years, quick fix. What is the best possible opportunities we can find to make money and then move on? NDC for credit card say, hey, accounts. That means the idea is by the time the 4 years is up, every coffers has to be finished. How can we run a country like this? How can we run an economy like this? And see, all this and many more. Let's come together. Let's rethink. Let's reboot this country. Let's rebuild our systems. Let's create structures. Let's bring policies and make sure, it will stand the test of time and will yield the results that we are looking for and move us from now to prosperity.
Achiri CDA ya walking. Mejidi senunti na abanya wa chiswe omukofa asa 1D1F asemi ebaye. Ena yeba agri sector no so a eno so na eno no ye farming die planting for food and jobs na eno so omose omode aba ye bedom no bae na mena ye bebre because so kasa no aka bibi se ye ewo se ye sheda boye chimu se we ni ye pesa ye ni akọ
and correct
echi dia na wugidi se eye sintowo bibi te se 1D1F ye omuka so ye mpesa ye den ne ma raw materials ne be kwa me no ne nti niema ni bi ho no mo a ye ankasa ye bie factories nkakra ne ye de aye no bae no so a ye pese agric no ye mechanize no one ye de planting for food and jobs no eba na etumi encourage more youth am omawura farming mu dia na anko ye because I think say sa adwin ye bi na wa na wo de na esoronko
mini aba adwuma na ho enya slogans o
omo de na slogans.
We need real work. What try say who register company kra Ghana da. What try say who register land e Ghana da. What ko bank say ko ji loan e dia koye farming da. What are the requirements? Land title, company registration documents, and so forth. So Siampa say it can take you up to 20 years to get one land title. Let's just say Jumano Wunyanye. Besides, bank how capitalized are they? What are the deliberate policies? Agri Development Bank looking to fund more oil transactions than agricultural business. There's no money there for people to go to the bank and borrow. Asamna Mekano, yes, Bia, who handpick party members be to give them opportunity. The market forces is such that you cannot force it. But when you create the enabling environment, it naturally operates on its own. Me who say na mesi aka no twimu. Say wo shada e de wadwene to hom, e hye nyoma yie de nyoma to forma. Naturally, Mami Okuya doesn't need to know some anchor in government. Or she say assassin a dawa kesie what do you call it? Assembly ni home. Technology and available here. Me can boom. Now say me they present it to any local or international banker. They will fund me. This doesn't need government putting up a slogan and say 1D, 1F. It's a natural market forces that promote this style of business. And all over the world where they have succeeded, that is how it works. Zimbabwe is a good example, where farmers all over the world were trooping in because they had deliberate policies on the ground. Today, Rwanda is doing it. Uko Rwanda now can set up company. Within 24 hours, you have your title, your certificate. You register land, maximum 3 days. The government even guarantee, say within the next 20 years or so, any issues come up, they are responsible. These are deliberate structures. Into London, and I say to Europe, Switzerland, wherever it is. Now say billions be and I say millions be. I know say me ko invest was growing, my money is guaranteed. This is what investors look for. It's not just slogans and talk. Where a China court a ruli asasi obi dia, a China asa ruli amo obi. Which investor will want to play the money with gamble his money with these kind of games? Let's cut the slogans. Let's create deliberate policies and structures and systems that would on its own attract investments into these areas. And I make friends say 1D, 1F slogan, planting for food and jobs, all these things that we are talking about, when in real terms it's not available for anybody to access unless party faithfuls and small groups of people. No, it can't work.
Abushian say utini enumre ya yene Dr. Samankra independent candidate why na adwesa fimpinu ene aduonu na ya battery 2024 abatro ye betro no obeko bi on de enya amanyokuo bi na sono no wode ba wo kɔ nanumu asɛm a wode atudwai ene wo se Ghana fo nyina so no omonto aba ema no ensɛm na wo ka no so no ɛyɛ nsɛm a wo ka mu ohu ne ewo ni tim hyehyɛ a wo se wode ebeba etutie na nasɛm no wo ka no ɛtɔ wasum wugidi sɛ we beboa ma ɔman no akɔso abusua ene utie bi na edu hɔ no mo na na ewo mu ode atum wadwenche oba Facebook a question bi a wo no ode ba ye bebisa Dr. Amao na Joshua Segbeji na dwenche yi ode aba osiakua manage Dr. nasɛm ode atudwa nwumre ho papa yem problem no leadership enye mmra bia o amanfo keka na mmra na enya adwuma enye mmra eya kanifo na wodi yanimu no omo ena ntoto niema yie eno ne ye hawaye wonti ye hwe ne solve sa problem na ya solve niema bebre Eric Opaimensa ose bi wai ye oman na ye tim no e favor omo ewo sika esikafo ne favor won the rich was me I'm trying very hard to say me open an event center for the past 4 months permit keke ye was ye de ema me no me twa me ho mi chese mi nya bi asam no na doctor aka no wo pe ade ba ko wo mayimu a wo betwa ho a nanka event center me pese me bie momma me permit keke no enu eteki 4 months ansa no matwumi anya bi eti anwumre na asam na wo ka ne de ne ekoso wo mayimu ene waboso ede amaye no ena kwasi amwani osi asamankese ena kwia mi tie mu efri na kache doctor say ne kasa ne ya dɔɔso ne kasa ya dɔɔso wɔmo ba na ɔmo ka ne sɛ ya wo kasa de enya din o de emum sɛ wo de yɛ adwuma no ɛno ɛna ɛden anatwe de yi a wo de aba wo se akua kache doc sɛ brofosam no wo mu too much wɔse mepɛsɛ mebisa ne sɛ issues ɛwɔ ground so paa wɔ Ghana no wɔgye di sɛ watumi akokɔ Ghana wawurawura ntokrom ya onim challenges a ɔman no mu yɛwɔ paa onim yɛ hawa yɛwɔ because wɔanhu yɛ hawa yɛwɔ a ɛbɛyɛ kasa nko a wonim yɛ hawpo na watumi asɔ ano woyomi Gabriel de ayi ɔde aba ɔsɛ akua mekyia mo anwumrei one doc mekyia mo Mustafa Saibu wɔse Ghana yɛyɛ haw na yɛ leadership wrong leaders ya yɛyi wɔn ɛno ne yɛ haw no ɛna kwadwobu aten de ayi ɔde aba ɔsɛ akua woni team no memamo adwo anwumrei ɛnɛ so ɛyɛ Daddy Bosco ne birthday eti mesrew man happy birthday ema me ɛne Daddy Bosco baby a wo bia nyankopɔn onhwa na ɔnyɛ wo kɛse papa Stevenson Kwadwo ɔse akua meso mehwɛ mu free Washington DC mehwɛ mu tie mo pa na ɛnɛ dɔka kasa ma mea mahu sɛ yɛwɔ bibia sɛ yɛyɛ betumi aboa me support no 100% ɛwɔ n'asɛm a ɔka ne ho ɛna abena kantamanto ɔse akua me de mate abrɛw ne dɔko kan kasa tenten tɔpɔnkɔ ka kyerɛ no ma me sɛ kasa tenten tɔpɔnkɔ we ya wɔ kan yɛte bebree da ɛna Solomon Bamfo Pepra ɔse bi wae wonim sɛ me so obi ka ne campaign die no ɔne yɛ so ɔse afi no ɔkɔgye permit me de renewal of certificate kɛkɛ no ɛwɔ register general ne office ɔno mo akua wokɔ hɔ akyɛ sɛ bra wo bɛbrɛ paa no ɛnya sɛm ketewa eti ɔhaw no de yɛwɔ bi ɛwɔ ɔman no mu ya ɛwɔ sɛ yɛtumi ɛhwɛ ne ɛso ano piaga so de yɛ ɔde aba ɔsɛ akua yɛde mase ɛne adwuma a mo yɛ som ɔman Ghana good job nyame enka mo ho onka so ho abusua so wadwenche oba Facebook YouTube a medical dia to anim sɛ nwumre yɛne Dr. Sam Ankra ɛna asi adwa an independent candidate ono electoral commission ye bie nwoma mu to hono mo a papa ye unity sɛ obeko bi afei opani yemra bato ya yeto eso esika semi no yebesa tie sim na wo ye kan no ye beto abaise ya na ehu mu bebre na mayimuti ewo mu a na ese matwe akote din ye ntemonka ebio eti we no kra no ye nim se wo kwa akosi ase o se bedu ba bi na abetwe asan yo we ni ya de a wo kwa akosi ase
se nyame MBA kwan emenya kwan se ye bebe fa emayi ni ya peja Ghana yinjaye. It's a long haul.
Let's obey second joy.
Oh, so customer second joy, I disagree. We have a plan. We have a structure and we have a system, and we believe, say, by 2025, by this time, nafa. Akukudru awode kan nafa no megidi se omanya batro no what steady sene trend no esi ekọ kwanya Ghana for fa so eto aba Saudi ruamra hyebadwam se ye mampani adwade no ne ye hu ni se amanyokuo na dodo na gina so eto aba meto ama NDC meto ama MPP amanyokuo no kura no amanyokuo dodo a ye wo mayim no ya amanyokuo mienu anko benkuma na akonifa eti ugidie ne se this time Ghana for beto ama nipa oni amanyokuo bia ma an independent candidate wo was akukuduro ni awrehemu no eno anu aka no emerina aso is a time it gets to a point in any political history this kind of change and I say disruption is needed. Usheseni ayesi kum esekro every yena obia eho chini na se ofu se ekwan na obefa so na befa so dia any a problem. The situation is saying bia the see last year and I say 2024 and I say a year 2020 and I say a year before. This situation is peculiar, it's strange, it's different. before say Ghana benya independent paying for fighting for independence. Now sub-Saharan Africa obianya independence. But they fought for it and they believed it and they got it. Emreni drew, you know. France had the same situation. Macron came from nowhere. But it drew Mrena in their political history that has to happen. It happened. Inti as 7 years we are used to this NDC MPP over the last 20 years or 30 years inti means see. Emrena do say this change has to happen. See na it will come back and hurt her so badly. It's a change so badly needed that has to come in. Send you between abua near send ya man yourself no near setting structures and systems are you better build it a croy na peja Ghana send ye ese could do ne a cra and cast 77 young community penny and so omina babe since I huko. We need to assess the situation critically and then you marry obia woti manim kase bia dwene ho ye pa na hu se yentimi emfasa kwan na so enkonya different results emrena so say yebesisa kwan so ni atena se ni ahwe how best we can change the direction and get the results. Do something different to get different results. And one many an kan na nyumre
eti now we can be fa say you be cut down on expenses ye no wo say enne wo ye mampani wo the minister say ne be ye adwuma
20 ministers. Ghana doesn't need more than 20 ministers.
20 ministers.
20 ministers.
Yeah, ministry ne be their ministry.
Ye be outdoor our a whole policy. Ye freno rebooting Ghana project contract with Ghana. We are signing a contract. And your manifesto. Sani ye be kan ye ja to no. We are
manifesto be
is a contract with Ghana, which is legally binding between us, AFA, and our Ghanaian people. Said this is what we intend to do. On the day that we'll adore that contract and the terms, remember Ghana for who the team that we have, who is going to be our vice leader, and what are exactly involved with the policies planner. Me know what can say, what ministries we are going to use and how we will use that to effectively, efficiently run effective government structures and systems to take this country from where we are to economic prosperity.
And you say some ministries, unya plan say
yeah. Before CBE 20 year plan here.
If say 20 year wo can me gidi say a wo team that I say wouldn't him said ministers 20 na adi ombe adwuma.
Team.
Wo team.
No correct.
Wo kan ma tiefo ate no magina so ato aba na ma wo.
Ai na make say tiefo man emre kakra. Say by next month in March, around the second week in March, you better outdoor all our policies in detail. So don't be tiasi who say, kofoi, and yet asem keke no moka. Now this is a real alternative. Even the cost savings in government and where that money is going to go. Say sika ebe savi, any ebebia sika ne beko our healthcare, our education, our what do you call it, water situation, our power situation, energy situation. When you now will open up holistically, I'm a Ghana for who say you should share in your year, in your here crew. You should share in your year, Ghana for Yamia Shrine pa say. You best have project like I said, decision I take is here in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Say they have to do as a Ghana. We want to create employment for every youth in this country. By the time they are at the age of 18, either say they are in full-time education, whether either they are in full-time employment or they are in apprenticeship. These are all very powerful schemes. I personally believe, harnessing the resources of the youth is as more valuable than our gold and our oil that we are drilling. Usher all over the world, great entrepreneurs, ideas, innovation, creativity, that turns this economy around. Young people who had an enabling environment to do so. Facebook, it was created by a young group of people. Instagram, social media, Twitter, in this digital era, we need to have a way of harnessing the youth resources. And Society Chrome has a youth in most of them are doing stowaway to walk through the desert to Europe. Port side is pile up of people all leaving the country because there's no policy, there's no program, there's no structure which is harnessing the brains that we have. We are draining everything. Until all this would come in our policy adoring her. Me know come what I'm saying, second week in March, you be adoring to our population to know what we want to do.
And some member you to know the end. Say ministry say war empanifo do operate in the pa na hu ni say whether you unnecessary can was say e wo ho.
Me say ye plan idea ban mema tip kakra. There's no regional ministers.
New regional ministers.
We are decentralizing government into the grassroots. DCs will be elected right from the grassroots to represent the people's interests and man the district. And to no regional ministers, until at least we will say about 18 or 16 or many deputies. Until we'll come to the rest when we launch. I don't want to preempt Ghanaians.
Ministers in DCs, MMDCs in so no, and wo and I will be appointed or more. Ghana for better
about our local community, because we want politics to be felt at the grassroots, which is not there at the moment. Until at that level, no DC who will be the chief executive of the area. Now Ghana is so unique, say. Every one of our districts has a unique selling point. One product of the other. Shea butter wahase, cashew nut wahase, cocoa wahase. Every one of them. And see, the revenues from this would run itself in these districts. Many, where there's some time, many will be Brony Bitna plane move from London here. Or say the CEO of Body Shop, or my body cream for now. The premium shea butter. From Ghana. But the whole amount of Muhiano, they can't even get 10% from Ghana. And so you won't call and I'm north.
Yeah, Samra MMDC the issue I can win him say Aben can be. So and a concon way. Unim says ye bet to me again such that yes sad as someone who can implementation ni bet to me akosoa unim constitution no closer sa assembly ginemu and yes a woman penny no ba ya say yen kone ye ko e wo se Ghana for adwenkyira batro ekoso eti se wo kan say oh me ba say na be yadwuma na ba na sa ne MPP for makwa pemu a omuntumi nko omani omuntumi mo machi a na contact and say contact and na anya adwuma if so be a try anya yi
omo try and say na anya yi omo your referendum ni am vote
e ho mo nnuru ho
exactly enti e try na omo try ye ni say yes yeah bremo full blueprints of exactly what we want to do and how it's going to shape the destiny of this country. And yes be a kasase ye be vote for MCs and as a DCs in isolation. No. We have a plan and its benefits to the economy. We'll make sure say we would educate your citizens across the nation, town hall meetings for them to understand the need for this. All these things are part of the blueprint or the what they call a detailed project I be rolling around. Part of the Reboot Ghana project, you know. Provide an affordable Ghana. It's all part of the project. And see, so okay, say we'll be trying 1 year. Even some more trying for 1 year. Yeah, they will GDA say. Send ye share any makwan. Efano. Ye betimi aye.
Momo de na esronko.
Esronko.
Ghana for Jimudi chain. Omo ehwe.
Ye mpese ombe GD on the surface. Eso who the substance behind what we are saying. Into this is what we are going to give Ghanaians the opportunity. Say, where can say obey say you? When or the chiro? Yeah, the see obey say. Now saying yeah, the chiro. Into why now you want make a decision for yourself. Who has presented the best plan or a comprehensive program for you to understand? Say, some step where are you taking? These are the results we are going to get. This is what we are going to give Ghanaians.
Yamra emabunu no de so. With the mabunu na dwuma no. Be yese the emabunu de wadwen sha yese fa wonsa ye adwuma. Wawie university kura no a e wo so nya bibiye ana ya aban adwuma ye de bema ana e ya adwuma bi te se ne ye hu no ebribi ye atwam wo ye wo mu a yese o youth employment program youth agency na yese o we ye napko yemma omadwuma nye ye ma wadwuma na ye emfie mienu a as a plan wo hono mo wo mfie mienu no kɔ yɛsan te wagum na foforo so mmra di adwuma na ade be ma mabunu no
sɛnyɛ miniam ba abeno kan no sɛ enye organic sɛ enye natural na sɛ wo be create artificial ayibia you be exposed
de hin na ye artificial
me kaba we de nya botrema me acquiring a skill and I say having an employment skill no it's not something say you be any certain universities vocational schools we are doing something but people have to have real hands-on experience in work and that will start from first economic policies we create to give room for entrepreneurship. People will start creating and building their own because the enabling environment are there. Your foul, we'll say we a friend is saying news anchor. We bring apprentices to you. The government will pay the salaries of these apprentices. As long as they are with you, they are working for you, you are training and developing them. They exit, they set up their own. They also set up, so it mutates. We are quantity surveyor. We bring people to come and understudy you. Real hands experience. You train them. They get a skill. Government pays a salary so that you can have the comfort to cover your bills and use your skill to expand your business as a business person. You train them, they exit as a certain year. They also set up. You mutate. Before you realize, you are creating real hands-on professionals. This is very, very important. We are going to build incubation centers across the country, training and developing young people in entrepreneurship to bring their ideas. In these days or the age of digital era, software development, IT experts. All these are creativities and innovations. If you don't create the enabling environment, you will not get it. It doesn't come by accident. It doesn't come from the heavens. A deliberate policy, plans, and programs are yielded to these things, which is not there at the moment. All the young people are even, apart from so many Jumanya, they are thinking for their next meal. Nobody is thinking beyond that. The system is hard for them. There's no enabling environment. Until we should start from that, making sure we are creating organic and natural opportunities that would absorb these young people. Raw materials are going to be processed. Industries are going to be built. Local consumptions are going to be encouraged. All these things are going to create avenues and opportunities. Young people would be employed. And looking at our program, our third year in office, God willing, we'll be able to make sure we are giving employment to everybody above the age of 18. Only full-time education. And I say, in full-time education, either when you're full-time employed or in some sort of apprenticeship. This is what we are promising Ghanaians. This is a contractor, they break Ghanaians. This is part of the reboot system. This is an affordable Ghana I see building. These are the things we want to do. The youth is priority. The youth is our focus, and this is what we want to give to Ghanaians. When they say, we are a young person, I say, what's my voice? Can who say, somebody has put himself on the line to come and sacrifice himself and build a nation that will look after your interests and make sure you have the best or you have the same competitive level as others in the Western world are benefiting. We have the means to do it, and we are going to do it for you.
Babunu biya wadi 18 krono moba mfie miensa chiri no omu nyina benya
latest by 10 year in office, yes.
Ombe nyina benya adwuma ye.
Absolutely.
Say ye ensanu adwuma fo say ye aban mu fo benya obia benya adwuma ye.
Ya benya adwuma ye.
Na enne no ye ka emabunu ewo mayimu a wonim dodo a ewo adwuma ye ne dodo eni adwuma ye.
Sisia the figures I have. Take it down. I have all the statistics, and we are still working on. When say, Sisiano, over 1.2 million young people above the age of 18, who are not in education, who are not in full-time any sort of training or employed, are walking around not doing anything. And year in, year out, the university students are also coming in and joining. Into the over 100,000 of youth university graduates are coming out on a yearly basis. And those of them who didn't even go to university or school are also coming out, walking around aimlessly without any structured plan that would accommodate them. Until we are creating a youth policy which would take care and cover every young person right from birth to the time they are that age, to make sure, say, government is harnessing the resources or the brains of their young people to use to build this nation. Because without them, we can't build this nation. This affordable Ghana we are talking about, this reboot Ghana we are talking about, if we don't create opportunities for the youth, we might as well just forget about it.
1.8
1.2 billion.
1.2 million and a billion.
Million, sorry. Million.
1.2 million.
Yes, not in any form of education, no
no
training,
school,
no training, just working at home, looking for employment.
And almost so a school or my training beer or munya juman so no modo saying.
It's part of the figure I gave you.
Can 1.2 no
on a yearly basis.
And
on a yearly basis, it's more about 100,000 of these youth are coming in and joining this figure until it keeps going up.
Until yefa o first 3 years no na say yearly no year bia 1.2 3 years na ye wo mabunu say be saying be 3.6 wo hu.
I will create avenues for every one of them.
Sa mabunu 3.6 ni nyina benya bibia.
Say process raw materials, say process entire your special clothing, say produce what most of the things that can be done. Our agriculture is flourishing, our what they call economy is booming. Entrepreneurs are creating jobs on a regular basis. This is not no-brainer. It's a natural freedom. You create the right structures and the market forces, they take these things. And
I say, hairdresser be a year juma, will be an ejuma or magazine, or be a year juma na say, oh, command apprentice, or mine a man apprentice, now or mine tria nipa kronoka.
You trade the salaries
workers, no?
Exactly. As long as they're to the time some be qualify to enter into fair design. Then you keep piling the apprentice before you realize you are mutating. This is how developed world well developed, and we have to start thinking about our people. But like I'm saying, idea and yes, and then it's a decision. These are plans you build that takes time. These are sacrifices you make that will not give you any immediate rewards as a person or as a team, but you need to be selfless in your approach, in decision making, be transformative in your ideas, and move this nation forward. This is the leadership that we are promising Ghanaians.
Richard Bill Owusu say, Akia, Mathieu Doc and Yumri, Nasam no atomasum. Me mini Ghana, me pese mi who say, Sa ideas or dear Benina no. Yenia, ye woman no, ye be a dane ye to me aboa no. I'm an issue I didn't know abem. Me did say, docky qua, quia, more woman on near, more some person mo boano no. Na ni so ade huna to mo timu a mo pesa mo boa no beche and na Samuel Daisy de ye odi aba Samuel Daisy o say akua mechia mo wunim se Dr. Sam kwan ye opese ofa so na obu oman no akua nam me kwan a chese madwene ho a me niam a medwen ho no wakeka bi anwumre na me se me pese wubisa no na so wo contact bio o wo kwan bi a ye betumi afa so na se yeso ye pese ye de ye ho ehyem ye pese ye di na chi a ye be di na chi no o me hu o se me pese me kan team no ho e se me hu ne se obetumi aye third force se wo o mayimu ni pese obedi man pe ni se third force ono o se won pese kan kura wo pe mampani dibrena no no o beje o se akua na message na senke bill na asan e dia ba no se message no asenke e na abran so de ayi odi aba kantamanto o se akua anim dwanko a ye de na utimi ka se mabu na wo Ghana within mo first 3 years no obi a benya adwuma ye ebei minua wachire mabunu no omo a o se chese omunko suku eni ensanu adwuma bia no etine se wo chichemba wo ne wo kana eno wa junior cobblestone no se ebi wa mechia mo me hwemu free dodo wa mesro chia Linda obene wa akwele oklu MP for shy osidoku chia na ma me pa ena Kwame Kuma wo se doc Ghanaians yenyini nuru babia wo kan wasem no kono baby ye nyini duru no ye nuru baby a wo nam no Yeah, na mefa na dog na mefa. Minua, there are some na okay or say dog. Wasem no ye nuru ho kra ye nyini nuru ne ye woke ka no imano nsia wo se akua emra ya hye no my Ghana mu no me ne mi hu ne se aban mu nipa nko na emra no boa won 1992 constitution no ayeye no say ya anya amendment dia oman ye ntumi nkwani mu because ya ye constitution no e dia protecting penimfo a wodi oman nanim ena Ghana fo e wo say ye hye constitution man boy ye ho ban no e moye ho ban Solomon banfo pepra de ye odi aba wo say ono say e okọ renew the certificate a okọ ye wo say take be 4 months no na chi saka bo say bi why really my enjoy doc enumre pa good work ena woyomi wo say sa pepepe Leo Smith wo say akua papa na Kenyan sasem enumre papa na sem a waka no wa Kenyan sasem na doc ye kan so obetumi aba enese wo hu se ne o meya batro ne sikro eti wo a wo pe mampanina di minimo budget a wo de ba because omo ekọ emahye badwade na anu yi no bna bo ebidi aba ne sese ya hansesa ne masikatue mu a onde onko bieu obi a ware ne kura esu enti wo budget yesen kwa be na afa so ye o campaign no
mini aba em say asem no waka no corruption no e won start free enti interest groups take over these parties or individuals enti say wo we ni pe na say wo de omuka enti say port amendments bi na dey ba na ya so kon say export bi na of products bi na o pese o stop here na ya so kon because o be pe man penyen di no omo na ko jijo musika we nyina problems are identify enti yes no interest groups money will be accepted obi o ma esika bi ase bi on condition say Samankra be president no yama no bi no o tie mu kasa ne say ensi kakra na ye dia start na ahoden ba yenim say yasem eto Ghana for trimu a say Ghana for ti ase no mu hunu adwempa ye wo ma wo mo any programs a ehsha esesam abrabo mu a o 5 cities o 10 cities o 50 cities o 100 cities ebe movie to have the money that we need to win these elections. No, be
donate to support to the any to donate to support.
Absolutely. Say I should nipa about 7 to 10 million to win the elections. That's so be my 100 cities cry on the average, you know. Say you just can be I bet me the campaign. Yes, say yeah, dear, as seminar the message we want to give Ghanaians, no. And about 2 or 3. Say, watch the t-shirts. What you 200 cities? Ekosi will say, and now you say, we are bringing you something now. I hope you now, woman, afiboni na ebit me ye free amount. Na aman your sem et me of benefit to you. Yeah, and your leaders, I will catch you say, tighten your belts. Now you enjoy luxury. Your mouth article 71 to any S gracia for ourselves. Now, Mososo, you say, Monko single spine. This is not the style of governance we are bringing. Our leadership style is of service. We are serving our people. We are not lording or ruling.
But who can donate to support, you know, and no be any donations a month for because obi on more no can with 10 cedis or 20 cedis. Obi so teacher or say, oh doc, nye 10 cedis crying and pesa medema. Me pesa me sponsor me ma wo e bi abe 1 billion me de support o campaign no obi so si o me wo filling station bribi abeko bia bra bebufu ogum obi so si o me kra ne me fra me no ne ba me de me wo port ska me pesa me de boa uni no amu hu adwuma a wo ye me nyi nisa wo mo a omo sponsor politicians no mo ka cho mo say wo ba no ama mposu say wo mo de mo wie no mba wo makọ manim nti wo de no si say wo nyi obi asika kwan ya makan no mo fa so de ba wo be po
say nyese me nji obi asika sika bia e de asem nam bia na say is attached to a deal, no, it won't happen.
Now, Obeda say sika we di asem na.
I say Obana ebe catch say yeah that was say. Oh, in fact, the donations are even going to done online. You are not even going to have a personal interface with these people in real time. Ghanaians can log into our website and see who is donating. na say you produce a contract for Ghana no. Na say obi a feeding station and also obi importing rice. Na say a contract for Ghana say by our second year in operation we are cutting every importation of rice. Na say rice importer be the 100,000 ebe 2 year comma. Ye dey say akato usika na de ba no yen gina so emfa nya dia emwa Ghana for. Our focus is to change the status quo. Sisia de Ghana for si come na ya humete. Enti yesi nye few benefiting again, but we want to make sure say politics would benefit every individual. Me say me call North baby around the Damango area in one of my rounds. Me ya campaign ya abroad bia me koshia no. O say, oh young man, me tie politicians but what can someone not to makumemu? But for the last 30 years in ensuo ye da hoyi eno ana ye nom wildlife economics yo ho what they call it shepherds yo mo lead yo flock economics yo ho eno asna ye nom sa government after government obia changing hwema yen. We haven't seen politics affecting our lifestyle. Dear now with my differently. Our people are not benefiting from our governance. All they see in say elections about ya bro t-shirt any 50 cities or 100 cities. How long are we going to keep deceiving our people? Let us be deliberate and create systems and structures that would benefit our poor people, uplift them from where they are. Yen peja Ghana ne Ghana for na Ghana for bread.
With corruption where yabatro ya ye kan mu ne sene wo ka se me ye nu de ba na makama dwen a kire wo. Enye wo nko a wo de ne ye hwe ye hwe man mu ni nyina se anhwe ya be kakra no ye nya nimdifo ma wonyi wanim se me kwa akostande for a position be a better me so aba because nipa no ohwe ne budget ne nso obetwe no ho eti si solve problem no a na ye solve ne se oman mu ni nyina be gidi se wakwantu a wonamu yi no se ye yuka ye wo kwan a ye won hyehyeye se so person sponsor political party bi a ha na wo se odefa wo gidi se emra fa ya batwo ho no ene wo se yesesa no se yenhwe oman no na beboa nipa na wo stand no ana se kwan ya nipa ne befa so anya sika na wo se ehu de na agidi se wo se ye
asempa no waka ne sare in fact and what bisa very intelligent questions pa a few votes emra no wo ho enso so yendi mra no so. Number 2 se nipa ne behu se oko spend say 2 million na obey onya friends in parliamentarian as whatever na wanya hwe free mo a ochina oko say sika obadwene ho enti yen put the right structures in place na ye mapi nipa enya benefit on merit not because say oti parliament and I say policy obi pushi program be through parliament na obachi scam man for na program go through. All these things are stuff we need to check immediately because they are checking when you na say oko spend sika like any businessman onum so when returns say me cost spend 2 million and I say 3 million and I say 5 million Ghana cedis me ba abai mo a this is how I can do to make the money but say block it sa avenues ni na no cost this oko spend sika na say balance when ya ochina okwa obedwene home. Now customer kwentio I've been around the South America region very well. Na me hu senia sika eni nipa boni for essay on my. I remember I've seen firsthand in Mexico drug laws taking over the parliament because unisika you can't enter. Drug laws placing candidates in every constituency. It's enyasem ketwa. Enti yenhwe ye pa senia yesi ya sikasem fire man yosema anybody who has money is being worshipped and is paying money through to get power no is dangerous for our democracy. Enti immediately yen putting up a stop to it, making sure say the laws work, making sure say people get things on merit, not because or a member of a political party and that's why affiliated to any government. But people get the jobs or the opportunities on merit. Ghanaians have to understand, say, I don't have to know some Ankara. I can live in Boko. I can live in Wale Wale. I can live in Axim. I can live in Hohoi. Not knowing anybody. Have the right documentation. Apply for a role in job and get it, or apply for a project and get it. Go through the procurement processes and still obtain it without any interference or so forth. the bending of the rule, the cutting of the corners by politicians and favoring our people is what is leading to all these things. And we need to cut it off, or else it's dangerous to our democracy. And I'm telling you, sir, I've had a first-hand experience of this in South America.
See, uni OSP be ya adwen say omo a ye to abe omo cheche niema ni nyina no mafrɛ omo momra mechirem ba bi amunya musika momra corruption no ye tu ase momra na mechirem no gidi say eno ne kwa so ano no
me say corruption and economy ni bra ye bra nyina no corruption me ne ya adwen pa because monies are in certain hands which are not supposed to be until they are outpricing everybody. The entire year chromo boy, the bibia boy, din, untimi hind dine, be papa and tinemu, untimi to adie. Because when people have free money in their hands, they outprice everybody. So at the end of 50 cities cross, 500 cities, then they outprice you out. This is what is happening in our country. People are holding monies. It has exacerbated income inequality and impedes upward mobility. This is what corruption has done to our economy. Intimi semo, yen bomodin, na yen fire hoodin, yen fight this canker. Because yan share, sani ayamanyo semo kono, we will wake up one day and it has been taken over by some people, which we don't want to see.
Jenkins Vijay de yode aba osekwia nipa ye hia wo mayimu no ebi enie ese yansesan ya dwen ni yanyai NDC MPP amanyoko ni amfa new force ama on board ye benya problem eti nimdia papa ya kane asem ode atudwa no nipa ye hia won yo mbetumi aboa yo mayimu no baako na ade na ba nwunwe maso ado ose bi wa mechia mo memehwe mu free Germany na enhamo ho mamo hamo kura na baumia no oba baumia na ebedi oman ne so na Emmanuel Owusu ose akua obi ani ho obetimi asolve your problem no just JDM na wo beboa ama oman no yatumi agina ye na so na Junior Kobisto no ose akua bisa doctor say me pesa me joining the party doctor de na nya party o se ne de no wono kontankura ne wo kɔ ne baabi nti upeso di na chi a
join movement
uso de movement wo afa movement say nya afa fanto movement ne nya afa movement
afa ye symbol ne the quarry shell sidie
sidie
quarry shell so ka wo screen and camera to somehow
o de mami producer na o de beto so
okay
kwam kule no monye doctor na shanso de no o se sidi Aisha afa fo na se yenya afa fanto ya benya sidi so de ne ehu
sika pa sa economy se ya de ebre ho nti ye say enso na ene sika edi ne dada mu no nti we are bringing back
you Tata Isaac say ebi wa mechia mo na me de ne edoko kan nyina mate so ka che ne se wono ntumi nye Ghana we JDM ana na chi sakab was say akua history mu no the best vice president ayenya no ye mampani abedi akire ono aso be ye mampani a obebo ama oman no akoso ana Lolo WM Harrison was say bi wa mechia mo se wa bisa doc ma me say o se wo ba se kontankure no ye yi no a MPC be no ne o mo be se adwuma no
again my answer no far
Mate say or say a question na me so you listen to one answer with the ebeba or so person who MPC kura ni o mo bebu mai no Abdul Karim political speaker when chizonwo abusuya wo hwe Facebook and YouTube a o ma shanso de no na aba no o mo kala no so ye de ato wo hwe o mo colors o mo de ye adwuma na yellow ena green
yes see ye red na frame
ena omode sedie atum fimfini wo awunim sedie no sedie na ye de atu Facebook no ohu ena da Facebook no nti mo amode doctor mpesa me join no mpesa me kam ho no ma sha nso de mbibia na wo ha sei no ye de atu Facebook and YouTube nti ubehu wo ho no mo afa wo hwe wo mudin na afa no omo twira exclamation mark nti na esa afa no ye kan ye nhome wotiem afa miensa afa omo so ahyenso die enie ti fofora abeka ho abusia eno no Don Carl de yode aba o se akua hwe mu fi agye nkotoku na me so me kan omo a yes say no to NDC MPP no me so me kan ho enti wo kan afa ho anasa wo kan de ehe ho wo kan afa ho de ani oba Facebook ani YouTube a mo ma hyenso de ene da ho no se de ene da emfimfini ena maso ado ose akua MPP all the way me hwe mu fi Germany nyane obi be kan kora na metie ena kariotu ose akua no kwasem ne se misre so be ka so onye serious de wo seriousness no ne wo ya wo ye serious no onso ni seriousness no de aba ha se opese okọ as an independent candidate nti amemfa ho so wa Emmanuel Owusu ose akua independent candidate de wonim ye pa se akansie na wo bam no wonwen wo wonim se parliament kora enye ye eti misre okache dokuma me se ne nyansan woni tim ni nimdi odi atwo wanyumbre no eye na emomonko constituency bi no onko hyase mfiri mrahye badwam ne nimdi no yehia ewo mayimu onko pe constituency bi no on hyase mfiri ho Ghana fo beto ama no enti o hyase firi ho no manka kra na se odi aforosoro ena kuma de ayi ode aba o se akua yensesan ya adwen won se me ka kire wo se medical send o message aka cho se baby a doctor adwene ko no Ghana ye nuru ho ya adwen ne nuru ho won ne ekoso ye nuru ho ampa ena akua de ayi ode aba o se akua chia doc mami wate Samuel Abobi o se akua me so me kan wo mu ami hu se doctor odi agoro no ho apart from JDM no hwan na betumi abeje o my Ghana sa abiri ye wo mu etimi mi hu ne se ne doc o kan nyina no o enya de se betumi akoso aban edi we frizenu na eba abusua mamimie nwoma no entumu adwenche wo so betumi edi biaba anwumre yi ne Dr. Samankra independent candidate ya chese ni slogan no afa wose afa 2024 afa ama no na wode sedie so aye na hyenso de eti wo asembisa bi a doc e wo fiase na meda Franco Trading Enterprise for ase meda DBS for so ase wota ya chi dendenden chance papa ye de bodan sunie na ene tabletop fridges na CCTV cameras ni nyina Franco Trading Enterprise wodi bi aba na me kai wo sem bosumi a yesimu ochene ye bosumi ojefo bosumi no ye ne aye wom nyina ye nim se ye odo bosumi sa bosumi we ya ye wo ye mu no odonko a eti nyame ya adomo a ochena ekoye nimu no chocolate day kaneni ese Valentine day ene Ghana ha yesi chocolate day saada no aye die na Adom FM ye de bota yesi ani so yesi kire wodo kwanya wo fa so a wuhia wukunu wuhia wo yere wo de yesi fa wo phone no na record se bi a me yere adwoa me kunu wei me hia no wo ha kwanya mo fa so a mu hia wo de ye ne kama na fabra yebesam yesamu ewia ye yin makoma akyede pafo hono mo a edu hono mo a ye de ebema mesro number betumi aya send akoso no 05401064667 ene wo de baso a edu hono mo a ye beyiyim o story na unique a abusua ye besom na ye de waka kansie no ho ebre twacho ya betumi ede saa odo ho asem ya ba no eye February ya yesimu ya bosumi ya yesimu china no ne da ye toso enum fa ho ka ho doc wa hu dwumadi e de hyehyɛ so next month no wo ya be ma wafo wawai
nyame adumai ma wari mo mami ensaso
enti wo kra timi ye biba e de kyerɛ wo do ba bi a wo hia wo yere minim so hia na Ghana ha so hia na brochiro wuhia ne Ghana ha na hia ne he abrochie wo hu any your story no so ebe kan ye unique ne ho enti ya ye bi na fabra wo hu ya ye bi na fabra na be me kakra bi kwan fa so hia no
we die me yaba
Obeyaba momo ye betwen wo abusia mi bie huma no atum 0302216561 and 0302216562 doc e wo fiase asembisa bi a wo no wo betumi e de aba Leo Smith de ye ode aba o se bi wai anwumre papa wa kanyansa sem dodo wahu wa kanyansa sem eso won se nipa ni bi e twotwo nipa ni bi wo ho no mo ba bi o mo de nam ne che se womani nyina asɛm a wɔka no ho very difficult sɛ obi ka asɛm a abawo mu akyerɛ Ghana fo a yɛbɛdi atum ɛna kwa wa mu bedu wɔse akua mesrɛ wada ka kyɛ dɔk sɛ na asɛm a waka ne nyansa wɔ mu o na ɔman na yɛtim no wankɔhyɛ ase mfiri amanyokuo bim na ɔbɛyɛ na me nko a mete me ho na mekɔ kɔntɛnkora ɛmfa etika kyɛ ne sɛ bɛfa deɛ sɛ ne ɔse afa no a ɔnkɔdɔn amanyokuo ebi doc so say wo question back wo ho e wo so yi an okay
parliament deɛ no
parliament deɛ no wahu ma me hwɛ afrefo na ba me ma obre hello eja udin ni ba bia frefre
ABY
minua hello
mo
adwuma da sempacho udin
aja ni mo ni mi ka se fro fan ko bere ha
yo aja ni mo mi enti o
me saka dia men chia Robert Lamki ewo Medina constituency wo fan constituency wo be gia man na omo mo contest omo yi na so mo wi ni no omo good luck omo wi ni so ye mo better luck for next time yo me da ma sem tietie mi buta me see da bia sa je mo mi buta so omo mama nsada obi aba wo se wo be president edi enti ye man ni president ansa no ye bibia magana na se wo be bibia magana ya hweso ni ato abade amawa na wo so me wo sika bia de beboa fa beboa Ghana se company bi na bebia ni enyem adwuma ni enwu se enipa wo betimi aboa Ghana ya to aba ama wo bidi ya no asimu we me better president ina me ntiaje ana ndiro mbo munye bi ma Ghana ansa ni ehun se ampa wo betimi aboa Ghana de so mu odu ontimi o emu odu anya de wo betimi endi wonyima no ade ndi no mo ma bibi ma Ghana ansa ne ehun se wo be so boa Ghana ya to aba ma ofiti ya no betimi so be president bye bye
yo yeda se ejani mu ewo so ode a wode aba hello eja udi ni ba bia frefre ma wa fidie no nkofo ma me
asonje
enkan so eja
na president
twedi ampo adom ye ho ye
ofa mo Y2K
Y2K wo hye ho
mewaba amena dom yebutu ho
eyo to asoma ye ne
mama fenchi ama Dr. Siawa Japan Zoom Lion nana montoro today emwa ya crash abuchi ba ibutado we all kasi se metse ne ufunda aiti do bia wakati na abuchi we babrofo na ne welusu credibility no pedo de me bo contest presidential no di gain credibility because one thing that ma yetmani mu ebakaso a obatampa akumsin nkofo a wafo hon mo welusu hairdressing osu seamstress binum welding musumi biala nyipe or pass out and how akumsin over 100 a month eba government man what to sewing machines, electric welding machines. You may be play one check what the bankofu apprenticeship a ban hoka was some of my participants was some musica. And to more put them down call up quality and I got the cratchy. I grew in what do or send up a focus into factories. Indum electronics, indum football, indum a year by the contest election. Yeah, you really when you be able to copy again. No, that but
there be Y2K. There be hello aja udini baby afefe
friend Bimpon because I came to see
aja Bimpon mi enti o
you me that mutie papa no doctor no in fact our message but ye nie sikakra e wo memu Ghana have so be select me ho be yi ne so be as an independent candidate here or let me say we waste me time nka if me organize or keep party in Nigeria, then it will be kind of going to have been better because you see that AMB, NPP, NGC for attitude of men. Even if you say party at Kababua. Thank you.
Nature say, oh no, Obi Obeko independent beer, the own to manage so
I'm better than what you had any panel.
Sanka also come one, maybe I become one.
I will maybe I'm a pen. I like the way I invite me up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Hello.
Fuck.
Aja udini baby afefe.
brother iPhone and Kasa.
You for me and
Ma Rose. Barista out team US and Ishra papa. Everyone over to Nika, maybe I'll share just 3 seconds be man na answer me to us.
Kan wo de na ime record nto ho na enu hia pa me ti hada kan wo de na wo ba ye ya minya bi
wona wo kofa banti na ka wo waka wo de kakra everyone mi brother ukasa ukase pa man pa adi pa kwa mi tini ni asia tra ni se o asem o ka ni na ni se anka sa bi ni na o de beti pa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the people want papa. What you see? Because as 7 of Canada, we see what the 20 MPs spend every year Duma Uganda. Now, me person as a deputies can
ministers, ministers
no can deputies can say they and you say as no case here no there. The who say waka 7 no no kasa no ya dos bebre. All say chief ka baby say one of the what do one train adi wo no what you see until let's let me say sabi no transfer no nyina no o make sure say obetimi di bua Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na you say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia onu go ba be break it enye obi oba ni ba be say bebre yati bebre ni ba me say o kana fo ensi aga
that's it. Hello
Ohima
Ejam patro mo afidie no nkwa fom na to asoma mi alaji
Ohima na umpom te say
Adom na so
o Ghana fo nyina si omo ma ombo ene agima pa o yema o my Ghana na anyimra manya wa fidie kase we a we asi nyina tie o sesebre mamenkia ye vice president his excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia na menkia ni bra penyini a ye friend Ben Abdallah Banda ono ye Haji board ene me visa wa kumtin wow oyima anukwe ba kupe wow se ne ye bo Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ndi ene Nana Akufo-Addo president his excellency se every asina almost 30 years extra Ghanaian se minya kunya mbeye se eno no so baba beti so bi ye Ghana ni na o ti amanoni inti ope president di na obeti se obeti independence na what na honu mo sa uji wani won kai o my Ghana bisa se no wonu mo ko independence o mo pese o mo di president no factory shine o mo si maye as se o mo aboa se Ghanaians for in ya agima yan ku se we na mo ye ya o mo ba mo be ye diabusa bisa o mo na se e dia na mo ye ma o my Ghana
Alaji, yada semamefa bako enchacho.
Hello, good evening. Ikuya.
Good evening, Minia.
Collins ni Medwedru Amamole ewo Ganof Municipal.
Yo, Collins mi enti o.
Aminchia Dr. Ham anyway T4. O bo humode papa nyakopo ishira no bo humban. Minia ba. Share me dwe on my Ghana ho a. Afa sebi ye assemble bani e ka le hurura ade bechi no na ajo no bia kana no atum hwe ipata na no party fo ikoye electoral commission ena ye de beba November ye de beba ehemfa obi so si hwe na media to me no mesre panyimfo ko ne nase na mo kan kire ne se ajo brewo akonyan amanfo abakọ ene do so ye hu omusam yi bi da kopim se ma me kwa ye beto aba na hihye foforo aba ana nka covid ye be ye wo mu ana delibu ink ye nfi ho ana ka seven give ene ye den mu ma die mu nda ho ekua wo so wa ye dwuma na wo jiwu dia ma die mu nda ho
ya da siminu abema doc ye ne asori akomigidi se nipa ni bi de questions ba ko mienu ebaaye MPs be na ani omo ebeye adwuma de no ewo honomo ena ne onu so ebisa foforo so de ya wo bisa wo de ye no anoma me na ye nto aso
MPs okay you ever feel the independent candidates across the nation number 1 number 2 yes we are building a Ghana for Ghanaians we are using the whole nation as our pool of resources and talents. Enti NDC, MPP, CPP, GCC, any member of parliament or what the right qualifications and the know-how, we will take you and work with you.
That's an all-inclusive government.
Absolutely. Besides, sir, even if I don't have one single parliamentarian, that's even the best. Because as a country, we need separation of powers and checks and balances. You want an executive, so your budgeter, on from to parliament, now a rubber stamp. T say, you scrutinize because they have majority. Look at what is happening in parliament now. Obiti hospital, so or the wheelchair mu, you're driving a parliament to vote on very important matters. It brings seriousness into our governance. It puts the executive on its toes. So you can't just do anything anyhow. You need to plan, you need to research, you need to back with evidence, you need to have the right facts and figures before you present matters. This is good for the country. You have checks and balances, you have separation of powers. And he said, member of parliament, I said, we don't have majority in parliament. Our policies we want to build, any has to sell itself. We have to convince Ghanaians by what we present to them to vote on. Besides, so be you see, oh, where there, because I'm here NDC Ninti, I would do things to sabotage the government. Like I said earlier, we are building a people's government. Until we will hold a town hall meeting in your constituency. We will come there and tell your community people, this is the policy we want to do. This is how it's going to affect and change your lifestyle, your circumstances. And so parliamentarian, because of party politics in tea or sabotage, we expose you. What you want to vote you out. So this is the people's government we are bringing to our people. And the question of either we have parliament or don't have members of parliament is out of the equation. We know what and how we want to build this nation. And it's something that every Ghanaian is going to join forces and help us build. Besides, let me ask this question. What is the ideological difference between MPP and NDC? They are supposed to be socialists and capitalists. Do you see that? MPP 4 year more social intervention projects than even NDC is supposed to be a socialist party. NDC 4 year more capitalist, projects than MPP, which is supposed to be it. It just says where our country is now is no time for ideologies and all these things that divide us, or political symbols and colors. It's a time for a united front, all the brains and resources of the nation coming together to help build our country.
Yo, mena wase dog. Munya contract no. Munya eye ho nhyehyɛ ye wie a sane ewo ka no. Ye do beba ha na ne ewo mu no. Ya beyi ne maako ti anwumre die. Ye da wase pa, ye da wase. Enua be man so obisa ye se nti wa meye mampani na ne ewo kan nyina ewu ntumi nyammoa.
Eno se commitment asano pa.
Tie ane enko.
Metinche ameno kaza sese ya me meyo mampani.
De no waye.
I have built an 85 million first class tier 4 data center, the first in the sub-Saharan Africa in Ghana.
Ghana, huh?
Yes, in fact,
85 million cedis are now dollars.
Yes, in fact, if I'm right here, in fact, it's a phase 1. The entire project is about $550 million. This is just a phase 1. We are building an ICT village. All this is to push our digital economy we are promoting. Until we are not just professing, but we are taking action and doing real things. Besides, there are so many other projects and investments we've done in the country. I said, I'll leave that and leave our researchers to research.
Contract nechi no ye beba behwe ye ba we nyina because obi na kan ye say record no wo ho no mo a na nipa ni hu say ne obetumi aye etu ba na wo de no so abeka ho na amamfo ehu no so ye da say abusua doc o sanka bibibi
and me nua na wo ka say me build factories no onye ne research and san will be some questions
wo factory sen
em fa say ejuma na me bibi na me no wo ka no
ye da say ekuma mama zimbi braso ye de odo ahoma so na abusua eba anwumre ye ne Dr. Samankra ene si adwa ewo Benin issues jumadie so independent candidate 2024 abatro no doc so obekobi mo am say third force or say there be or wini ɔwene afa wie eti edu hɔ no mo a wo hu baabi a bɛto abɛkɔ biara no abɛkyerɛ wani so ade hunu no medin ɛde akua boakyewa Adom yɛda kasaprɛko London Dry Gin for asemese yɛ ka gin na edin no yɛtoa so ɛyɛ London Dry Gin kasaprɛko London Dry Gin ɛna DBS roofing sheet nkyɛnse papa yɛde bɔdan so sada so ɛna Franco Trading Enterprise so ɛta yɛ chimi producer sɛ yɛ listo wɔ kwadwo for your lawyer ɛna kwamkulenu ɛkyɛkye